Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Chris Horner. Today is stage 4 of Volta Catalunya, just under 190 kilometers, about 115 miles in length. They do have to go up La Molina right away out of the gates on today's race, but after that, it's going to be pretty soft stage when you're talking about for the GC guys, because they know it's a good chance there's going to be a field sprint. Sure, there was a big battle at the start of the race to see who could get away in the breakaway, and eventually there's 5 guys that go up the road with Nans Peters from AG2R, Chris Juliensen from Jaco Alula, David De La Cruz, he's in the break all the time for Astana, Torsten Treyen from Uno X, and Roger Adria from Kern Pharma. He's the threat on the general classification at 13 minutes, so there is no threat for the GC guys up in this group of 5. Their gaps had about 2.5 minutes, and when the camera spread back to the peloton, we see 4 big pro teams riding the front. Ineos is up there riding the front because they have Ethan Hayter. Cofidis have Brian Cocard, they're riding the front. Alpecin de Koenig, Caden Groves. And then Israel Premier Tech have Corbin Strong, so they're riding the front. With 4 sprinter teams there riding the front, you know when you turn the cameras on, it's going to be a field sprint. There's no doubt about it. Now, we get into action with the racing with about 10 kilometers to go. We see the gap to the breakaway of 5 riders at about 25 seconds. Things get a little bit interesting at the front of the peloton because we're going to see AG2R at 8 kilometers to go. When the gap's at about 15 seconds to go, we see AG2R get in there and upset some of the chemistry in the Alpecin de Koenig train, and that's why we see that left arm come out from the Alpecin de Koenig rider and just push the AG2R rider out of the line. Should have never been in there. It's not professional to get in there and mess up trains, a team train that's been going basically probably from kilometer 0 all the way now to 8 kilometers to go. Now, just over 5 kilometers, about 5.5, we see Quick-Step get on the front because they have Remco Evenepoel, who's tied on time with Primoz Roglic. I don't like this tactic at all. What you want right now, if you're Remco Evenepoel, you want total chaos. Now, what he wants and what he needs, I should say what he wants is to be let out because he wants to be safe. We know Remco Evenepoel does not have a great history of boxing for position when it starts getting curb to curb and scary in the peloton. So he has his teammates on the front right now going full gas after Ineos' Egan Bernal pulled on the front for a bit, trying to bring the brake back. Now you see Quick-Step on the front going full gas because they're trying to keep Remco Evenepoel in the front spot and out of danger. But this is not what you want. You want chaos. If you're tied on time, you want chaos so that you can hope that Primoz Roglic can get lost in the chaos and you place in front of him. If you make it fast all the way to the finish, Remco Evenepoel is going to be on his train, right, and be safe. But the problem is, if it's all strung out and safe back there, Primoz Roglic is no slouch, right? He could do chaos, he could do uphill, he can do time trials, he can do just about everything pretty solid, and he does chaos okay. So if you keep it straight and no chaos, Primoz Roglic is just going to right up there be sitting behind Remco Evenepoel. And once we get into the finish and there's a swarm, he's going to come around him, and he's always going to know where Remco Evenepoel is at if there's no chaos. So you want some chaos. So I don't like the technique here from Soudal Quick-Step trying to keep Remco Evenepoel at the front and keep the pace fast. Now they stay at the front, and about 4 kilometers to go, we'll see the breakaway get all wrapped back up, and now we know it's a full field sprint, and the first one across the line wins today's stage 4 of Volta Catalunya. We see with 3.5, Mattia Cattaneo up there just drilling it again, trying to keep Remco Evenepoel in solid position. Now, things start getting a little bit more crazy and dicey in the race when we go into 2.5 kilometers to go because Israel Premier Tech's going to fly up the left side, and we're going to see, of course, the Quick-Step train get swarmed. This means that now we're going to see some chaos. And look at the picture. We see on the left side of the picture there, it's who? It's Primoz Roglic. Knows now's the time to come to the front. And because Quick-Step have been at the front the whole time, he knows exactly where Remco Evenepoel is. And Remco's getting swarmed in the middle of the peloton as Primoz Roglic is flying around the left side. And he's got Tobias Foss, his main lead-out guy that did that spectacular lead-out on stage 1, is now taking the front of the peloton while we see Remco get swarmed in the back. And now we see Primoz Roglic with Tobias Foss going full gas on the front. Now, Tobias Foss doing a solid job. We're coming up to just under 1.5 kilometers to go, and there'll be a tight right bend right here. Not so tight where it's dangerous because the roads are pretty wide, but it's a full 90-degree. So as Tobias Foss is flying into the right turn, we see Albacin de Koenig start coming to work. Now with Albacin de Koenig, Conchi up there, he's got Stefano Aldani lined up on his wheel. Caden Groves a little bit lost back there, not set up on his Team Albacin train up front. So it's two guys going into the right turn, and they're flying on the inside there, Foss. That means Foss's job is done. He's moving out of the way, and he knows Primoz Roglic has the skill to keep himself at the front of the peloton all the way into the line without much of a problem. So Foss is out of the way. Albacin de Koenig's going full gas as we're coming between the two final right turns that'll finish off with straightaway here at stage 4. Between the two right turns, we see Trek Segafredo Bustenga. He takes the front. He's leading it out as we see Aldani from behind. He'll slide up onto the Trek Segafredo rider's wheel as we're coming into the last and final right turn with 600 meters to go. Come out of that right turn, the Trek Segafredo rider, he's done working on the front. He pulls hard to the right and exits, and now Stefano Aldani, Albacin de Koenig, is on the front. We look at the picture over to the right side. There's his sprinter a little bit back there on the right side, but he's probably about 5-6 guys back, and that's Caden Groves. We look to the left. We're at 500 meters, remind you, and it's 3. Not 1, but 3 Bora Hansgrohe riders lined up behind Stefano Aldani, and guess what? Patrick Conrad decides this is a great time to get on the radio. Now, up here on the Butterfly Effect, you know I love the details, so I would love to know exactly what he's saying on the radio to his teammates in front of him with 500 meters to go. I don't know what it could possibly be, or if your teammates would even be able to hear you, but in front for Bora Hansgrohe, sitting behind the Albacin de Koenig rider, that is Ada Schelling, the rider who went third at the stage 1, and now he's on the front. Between 500 and 400 meters to go. This is almost kind of comical. Aldani is on the front. He's looking back, trying to find over the left side of the shoulder, trying to find, of course, where Caden Groves, his sprinter, is. He's looking over while he's on the front, looking back the whole time. Back the picture up. He's getting just about 500 after we see the radio from Bora Hansgrohe, Patrick Conrad on it. Then all of a sudden we look back and we see it's Ada Schelling. Schelling's looking over his shoulder too. He's trying to figure out what his guys behind him are doing. He can't figure out anything. He's got Frederic on his wheel, Wandal, and then Patrick Conrad. We see some more chicken arms flying out there from Ada trying to get his teammate Frederic to come through and take a lead. And this is happening from 500 to 400 meters, where every time we see the look over the shoulder there from Ada Schelling that wants his teammate to come through. At one point in time, Schelling is looking back over his shoulder, like I told you, and then Patrick Conrad, third Bora Hansgrohe rider, he's looking right, and they're all looking at Frederic. So I got to believe on the radio back there, it was probably Patrick Conrad saying, Frederic, you got to go, man, you got to go. But Frederic's sitting there, he doesn't know what to do. So I had to look up some of the results from Frederic. Didn't see any big-time wins or anything like that from the rider. So at this point in time, I don't know if he knows what to do, but he's just sitting there. Now we're starting to come into about 400 meters to go, and Aldani's deciding that he's not going to lead this out because he still can't find Caden Groves. Up the right side, though, here it comes. It's Israel Premier Tech. They're going full gas with the French-Canadian rider Boivin. He's doing a fantastic job sliding through the fence. We go back over there and look at Bora Hansgrohe Schelling as he finally stopped looking backwards. He looks forward over to the right, realizes Israel Premier Tech's going full gas with Guillaume Boivin. So we see Ada Schelling just start his sprint full gas. Now, behind the Israel Premier Tech rider, we had, of course, the sprinter Corbin Strong for Israel Premier Tech, and then on his wheel is Caden Groves. So as Guillaume Boivin is taking the lead here with under 400 meters to go, he's going full gas because he knows he's setting up strong here for a perfect chance to win the sprint. Behind, as they came through the fencing, okay, there it is. Caden Groves did a fantastic job of following the next sprint train because let me remind you guys, he wasn't on the Albacin de Koenig team train that started off coming out of this corner with 500 meters to go, and Aldani was wise enough to sit up and not bother doing the lead out. Now, with those Israel Premier Tech riders hitting the front, you got Ada Schelling back there. You have Frederic, who hasn't started his sprint for Ida. And then, of course, you have Patrick Conrad back there. In the middle, between all the chaos, is Brian Coquard, the Cofidis rider. Now, Coquard's won a lot of stuff on his resume, been second on the Champs-Élysées, so we know he's fast. As we start getting into 250 meters to go, Coquard has to start his sprint. He's going to find his way out and push Conrad over just a little bit, find his way out all the way to the left, and he's starting his sprint full gas at 250 meters to go. Starts accelerating straight by the Bora-Hansgrohe riders, who are all basically fighting to see who's going to be first Bora-Hansgrohe on today's stage 4 of Vuelta Catalunya. As he comes flying by those guys, all of a sudden he's up to 200 meters to go. You see Caden Groves. He knows the speed's starting to slow down just a little bit, so Caden Groves looks straight over. He sees Conrad coming. Conrad just goes flying straight by him. It's 150 meters to go. Corbin strong now. Israel Premier Tech starts his sprint, jumps to the right, as on the left side Coquard is going full gas. They come around Boivin, but Coquard's going faster and has the lead at 100 meters to go. Now it's 75 meters to go. All of a sudden we see in third position, it's, Caden Groves at 75 meters. He waits to about 50 meters to go to start his jump. He starts full gas, comes off the wheel there, and now he's going left side, 25 meters to go. He's side by side with Brian Coquard, and then at the line, it's a bike throw for Caden Groves. Comes through for Albacete de Koenig to win today's stage 4. Second on the stage, Brian Coquard. Third, it was going to be Corbin Strong, Israel Premier Tech. Fourth or first, Bora-Hansgrohe rider Ada Schelling takes 4th spot on the stage, but first Bora-Hansgrohe rider, because all 3 of those guys were sprinting themselves all the way to the line. Second Bora-Hansgrohe rider is going to be Frederic Weldon, and then third is going to be Patrick Conrad. So that's the podium for Bora-Hansgrohe and the podium for today's stage 4. Now, when we're talking about the GC battle, Remco Evenepoel, he lost some spots, finished about 25th on the stage. 15th on the stage is going to be Primoz Roglic, so he holds his race leader's jersey and adds some more cushion to the placings anyways of about 10-15 spots there on Remco Evenepoel. So Remco Evenepoel lost a little bit of distance on Primoz Roglic. Now when we get into tomorrow's stage, the summit finish stage 5 here at Vuelta Catalunya, Remco Evenepoel has to drop or take time bonuses on Primoz Roglic because he's too many placings behind after today's sprint finish to be able to just be 1 spot or 2 spots in front of Primoz Roglic. So now he's got to flat out drop the Slovenian on tomorrow's summit finish, or he's not going to be able to win here at Catalunya unless he can do some amazing placings on the last sprint stage here at Catalunya. And I just don't see that happening for Remco Evenepoel, who's not a sprint specialist and certainly does not like chaos when it comes to that curb-to-curb kind of chaos that you see at these big-time field sprints at the European peloton. Today's stage, like I said, complete sleeper. There was some good stories there from 10 kilometers all the way to the finish, especially when you look at some of the knuckleheadism going on there from Bora-Hansgrohe from 500 to 400 meters to go. What those 3 guys were doing, I have no idea. I would love for one of them to write in and tell me and say, hey, this is what the plan was, but it just didn't work out that way. But instead, Ada Schelling, congratulations on your win for first Bora-Hansgrohe rider here on stage 4. Brian Coquard's interview, he says he thought he had today's stage 1 once he was in the lead, but then of course got passed right at the line. Second's not bad. Come see, come saw is basically what the Frenchman says. When we look at the interview from Caden Groves, he says it's been a rough season, so today's win is a big-time bump for the morale there for Caden Groves. Congratulations, Caden Groves. Albacete de Koenig did a fantastic job today. Stefano Oldani, that was brilliant, backing off the gas. And, of course, Caden Groves following all the right wheels all the way to the line and being so explosive at 50 meters to go to overtake Brian Coquard. Great sprint finish there at the end of here at today's stage 4. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. We got a big-time mountain summit finish on tomorrow's stage 5 of Catalunya. You know Remco Evenepoel is going to have to throw down the gauntlet if he wants to get rid of the Slovenian Primoz Roglic. And remember, when it comes to Primoz Roglic, it's been early in the season. His form can get better. Whatever you saw on yesterday's stage, remember, he only dropped at 250 meters to go and really only gapped at 200. So his form can still be getting better. And because it's early in the season, I don't think we'll see it happen with Remco Evenepoel, but his form maybe could drop. I expect his form to stay the same, though, and I expect Primoz Roglic that we're going to see the Slovenian go deep into the red to try to be able to hold on to the race leader's jersey tomorrow here on Stage 5. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next edition real soon.